Hello and welcome to Opening Bars. Laura is a song by English recording artist Natasha, also known as Bat for Lashes. It was co-written by Natasha and British songwriter Justin Parker. This song, like the album cover from which it comes, is so incredibly exposed and haunting. It is certainly personal for Natasha, and one that reveals a sincere, raw, emotional vulnerability. I just love how closely her voice is mic'd, and very forward in the mix, too. You can actually hear the saliva in her mouth, hear every breath intake. It's amazing how clear yet delicate the consonants B, P, and D, in particular, are executed. Her vocalization of the alliterative softly say, too, is absolutely exquisite. I just love this song. Let's look at the harmonic movement. Here we're going to use the bass clef for both the right hand and the left hand. We also have one sharp, so a key signature of either G major or E minor is implied. We also have a time signature of 6/8, meaning that the primary subdivision is eighth notes, and that there are 6 of them in each measure. Although this is the case for the notated score, the primary feel of pulse will be 2 counts in each measure. The first vertical note arrangement is an E, then another E, and a B. This open chord has no representative third, making it enigmatic and somewhat hollow. The only other note in the bar is a D, a 7th above the bass note E. We can label this an E minor 7, no 3. Actually, nowhere in this piece is a full E minor chord ever heard with its representative minor third, yet it is the opening and primary returning chord structure. The very end of the piece does end on a C major chord, but this sounds to me like an incomplete resolution. The F sharp would make for a Lydian scale in C, and that just doesn't seem plausible to me. That F sharp is part of the natural minor scale of E minor, in my mind. Continuing on then, measure 2 has a very clear D, F sharp, A triad in root position over an F sharp in the left hand, leading to a G chord in second inversion over a bass note G, 2 chords that create a temporary lushness after the stark open chord that precedes it in the previous measure. That F sharp in the bass really feels like a strong leading tone moving to that relative key of G major, only to settle cadentially on the C, E, B in measure 3. This chord feels similar to the opening, but now the E natural is the major third above the bass note C, and the B is the major 7th degree above, giving it a whole new meaning. Here we can more definitely label this a C major 7. As far as the Roman numeral analysis is concerned, we can label this progression A1 in the lower case, with the 7 no 3, to a 7 in first inversion, to 3, and then 6 with the major 7th. Because that low F sharp moving to the G major chord feels so strong, I would be tempted to create a small pseudo-label 5/6 of the relative major 3, followed by a mini cadence of 5 of 6 to 6. It's not particularly sophisticated harmonic movement, but like other opening bars we have studied in this series, it does have a strong emotional appeal being tightly bound to the limited realm of B minor, C major, D major, G major, and of course the open E chord. This piece is in 6/8 time, with an overarching pulse of 2 beats per measure. The interior tones of the E natural and D natural provide some rhythmic interest, a lovely quarter, eighth note pattern. I wouldn't overemphasize those tones, but I wouldn't underemphasize them either. They are just too interesting to not be evident. Make sure to provide just the slightest amount for extra striking velocity to make that motif pronounced, yet still subservient to the primary melodic movement above. Of course, the most prominent rhythmic motif is that of the dotted eighth note, 16th pairing. If you listen carefully to the recording, that 16th feels ever so slightly late. Let me play it for you 2 ways now. Let's see if you can hear the difference. Did you hear the difference? If not, please go back and listen again and again. Try to imitate it on your piano. I think that it's an unbelievably nuanced performance, and one that you should try to explore for yourself. It may seem odd for a pattern so simple, but you should pay close attention to fingering and hand position. Often we think we only need these considerations when playing scales or fast passages, but it can be very useful in other areas as well. Take a look at the left hand. Use your third finger on the opening E, not your pinky, and then you can walk up to the G and end comfortably with your pinky on the low C. In your right hand, you should focus your fourth finger on the B, and then you won't really have to move your hand very much at all. In fact, place your hands as I have just indicated and play without looking. It'll be the easiest thing you do all day. You might be surprised to learn that there are over 800 subgenres listed in 15 major categories under the List of Popular Music Genres in Wikipedia. There are over 130 under the heading of rock music alone. I find it interesting that Wikipedia lists this piece as an example of Baroque rock. This genre is considered, and I quote, a fusion of rock music with particular elements of classical music, notably Baroque-like elements of contrapuntal melodies, significant patterning and sequencing, with dramatic or melancholic gestures. This genre may also feature string arrangements, woodwinds, and brass, but the most identifying sound could be said to be that of the harpsichord. Well, although this song Laura is, by Natasha's account, more traditional in structure, and it does feature a masterfully stunning string arrangement and lovely French horns and trumpet, it does not represent the harmony and melody nor other compositional techniques of the Baroque period, and there's certainly no defining harpsichord. So I wonder, why Baroque rock? I think this is mislabeled. And if that's the case, what genre would you list this song under? Maybe leave a comment below. I hope you enjoyed your lesson today. Remember, don't just play notes. Make music. Until next time, thanks for listening.